What's up and welcome to FPL Today. I'm your host JNO, welcome to the channel and welcome to Game Week 2 Captaincy Candidates. In Captaincy Candidates I look at the top 4 options from all the polls across the internet for Game Week 2 captains and pick out the one I think is the best option for you guys to pick to do the best in the Fantasy Premier League. Last game week I picked Romelu Lukaku as the best option out of the top 4 players for your captain's armband, and I was correct as Harry Kane, Kevin De Bruyne and Gabriel Jesus all let us down. However, it's fine because I put the captain's armband on Romelu Lukaku and got a score of 87 points for game week 1. And for all of you that left questions for my Q&A, not my FPL Q&A, but the normal Q&A, apologies that the video's not out yet. I was going to shoot it over the weekend, but if you follow me on Twitter or watch the previous video, you'll know that we had a loss in the family. So unfortunately, I had to put some stuff on the back burner, but we are back doing videos for Fantasy Premier League Game Week 2 Captaincy Candidates, so let's go. So the very first option is Mohamed Salah. Like I said in the ones to watch video, he was very frustrating at first as he seemed to fluff his lines a couple of times, but however came through big in game week 1 with 1 goal and 1 assist. Great start to the Fantasy Premier League season for Mohamed Salah. It looks like he could be the replacement for Philippe Coutinho in our Liverpool conundrum as far as attacking players go. And because of that goal and assist, he actually was involved in 66.7% of the goals Liverpool has scored this season. I know it's only off of 1 game, but these stats will become a lot more meaningful the further on into the season we get. Gamewek rating, which is last game against game week opponent, of course that is non-existent. However, if we look at the underlying stats, we can see that underlying stats looked very good for Mohamed Salah, which is why he is one of the popular choices for the captain's armband come game week 2. In the game against Watford, he managed to get 5 attempts on goal, 5 of which came from inside the box, so they're all close range threats, and he had 1 big chance and he managed to score that big chance. His shot accuracy is at 20% and his goal conversion is also at 20% at the moment, and Mohamed Salah looks like he could be integral to that Liverpool side. As far as his team is concerned, attacking wise, we all know Liverpool can be a very good attacking side. We all know last season they scored a lot of goals. This season they've already got off to a good start with 3 goals. Unfortunately, their defence isn't really matching up with their attack. However, they scored 3 goals, which puts them joint 3rd in the league for goals scored already. Attempts, they had 14 attempts on goal, which puts them joint 7th in the league for the amount of shots on goal, and also goal conversion was at 21.4%, which is 5th best in the league at the moment. Their opponents, Crystal Palace, we all saw them get beaten by Huddersfield. They conceded 3 goals, which is joint 18th worst in the league, and shots inside they had 6 conceded against, which puts them joint 7th worst. So they actually aren't that bad a defensive side. I know the fact that they lost to Huddersfield 3-0 makes them look very bad, but as far as shots from inside the box conceded, they weren't actually that bad. However, we know Liverpool, if they are on form, can break down sides. However, we know last season they did lose to Crystal Palace, Liverpool, so potentially that could happen again, but people are putting faith in Mohamed Salah. Just like last game week where we had 2 Manchester City options, we got 2 Liverpool options in the top 4 captaincy options for game week 2, and it is Roberto Firmino. I think a lot of this is to do with the fact that he took a penalty. If he is on penalties now, that makes him a lot more valuable as a Fantasy Premier League asset. He also managed to get a goal and an assist, which means he was also involved in 66.7% of the goals. However, he was around for this same fixture last season against Crystal Palace, so his Gamewek rating is actually 0 goals and 0 assists. However, last game he didn't have the same amount of underlying stats as Mohamed Salah, but the fact that he has penalties means all Liverpool have to do is win a penalty and Roberto Firmino could get on the score sheet. He actually only had 2 attempts on goal, both of them from inside the box, and he had 1 big chance which he scored, which of course was the penalty. His shot accuracy was actually at 50% however, and his goal conversion was also at 50%. We've already gone over the team stats as far as attacking wise for Liverpool and defensively for Crystal Palace. I personally am only picking Roberto Firmino above Mohamed Salah because you do have that penalty factor. He also did look like he was integral to the side and maybe the player that needs to become a bit more creative now that Philippe Coutinho could be out the door. Next up, and I'm surprised I'm putting him in 2nd place, so again, bear with me. I can't help the fact that he's in the top 4 captaincy options, but I actually am going to stick some faith with Harry Kane. I think. Look, I know what he did against Newcastle was disappointing. Everyone was hoping he would score some goals in August and completely get rid of that theory that he can't score goals in August. His actual goals and assists and Goals involved in all that is all at 0. Against Chelsea at home last season, he also didn't score or get any assists either. Christian Eriksen and Dele Alli did, so maybe look at them. However, if we have a look at the underlying stats on another day, if it wasn't August, if it wasn't the first game of the season, potentially he could have scored 2 or 3. He actually had 6 attempts on goal, 5 of which came from inside the box. He had 2 big chances, and his shot accuracy was what let him down at 16.7%, and of course he had no goal conversion. He hit the woodwork. He just couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. But as far as forwards go in the Premier League, he was one of the highest for attempts on goal and one of the highest for shots inside the box. So potentially Harry Kane could score big despite the fact everyone is shipping him out. If we actually have a look at the Spurs side, they actually scored 2 goals in game week 1, which puts them joint 8th for amount of goals scored. And attempts on goal, they're actually 5th with 18 attempts on goal. Their goal conversion is at 11.1% as a side, which is joint 9th. And their opponents, Chelsea, they've actually conceded 3 goals. We all saw them absolutely collapse against Burnley, so they're joint 14th. Their defence seems to be at disarray at the moment with a lot of injuries and suspensions now to contend with. So they've conceded 3 goals, which puts them at joint 14th, worst in the league. And shots inside the box, they conceded 8, which is 13th worst in the league. So Chelsea aren't looking like a very good defensive outfit at the moment. So potentially Harry Kane could come in big in game week 2 and put a lot of FPL managers that took him out their side to the sword. But I'm being very predictable and I'm going with Romelu Lukaku as my #1 captaincy option out of the top 4 captaincy picks so far in the polls going for game week 2, and it's easy to see why. He scored 2 goals over game week 1. Goal involvement rate was at 50%, scoring half of the goals that Manchester United has scored so far this season. He got 0 goals and 0 assists in the fixture against Swansea for Everton last season, but he's in a different side now, and it seems like there's a lot of creative football being played just behind him. And if we look at his underlying stats, they were very good. 5 attempts on goal, 4 from inside the box. He had 2 big chances, and he put both of those big chances away, giving him a shot accuracy and a goal conversion of 40%, which is very, very good this early in the season. And Manchester United also looked very, very good and have a decent fixture list. So if you don't have a Man United player in your side, I suggest you bring one in. Goals, they're joint 1st in the league with 4 goals. They had 21 attempts on goal, which puts them at 3rd best in the league. Their goal conversion was at 19%, which is 6th best in the league. And they're coming up against Swansea that, although they didn't concede any goals, they actually conceded 16 shots inside their box, which was the worst in the league. Put that against Manchester United, who seem to be on fire, and we could be seeing Romelu Lukaku getting another brace or potentially even more. Anyway guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this video as always. If you have any questions for me for the FPL Q&A, please leave that in the comments down below. Also check out the description if you want to support the channel in any way. Hit that like button if you want to support the channel, and happy to see me back on YouTube. I've been JNO, this has been FPL Today, and remember, it's all about the game.